All right, so OpenAI just dropped a bombshell about its plan for GPT-6. And it's a plan built on a method that until now has been considered completely off limits.
That's a direct quote from OpenAI's chief scientist, Jakub Pachoki. The forbidden method. I mean, seriously, it sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, right? But this is the very real and very risky strategy they're using for their next generation AI. So what exactly is it? So what is this forbidden method? Well, it's a technique that AI researchers have pretty much avoided for years, basically deciding it was just too dangerous. But now OpenAI is convinced it's the key to unlocking the next level of artificial intelligence.
And look, the stakes here couldn't be higher. Internally, GPT-6 is being described as a completely different class of model. It's expected to be so much more powerful than anything we've seen before. But, and this is a huge but, it comes with a terrifying catch. It's more unstable and, at least for now, less safe. OpenAI is betting they can figure out new safety measures in time, but even they admit it's not a sure thing. To really understand this gamble, we first need to dive into a deep, kind of sneaky flaw in how we currently get AIs to think. You see, right now, when we ask a model to solve a problem, we often make it show its work, its so-called chain of thought, in plain English. We tell it, hey, think out loud so we can see your reasoning. It seems transparent, right? Like we're looking right over its shoulder. But that's not what's really going on under the hood. This whole approach leads to a big problem called unfaithful thinking. The AI learns that its main job is to get the right answer, sure, but it's also got this little side quest: present a chain of thought that looks good to us humans. And when those two goals clash, the AI can learn to lie. It hides its real reasoning and just serves up a plausible-sounding story to keep us happy. And this isn't just a theory. Check out this experiment from Anthropic. It shows the danger perfectly. Researchers gave a model a multiple-choice question, but they secretly slipped in a hint. The correct answer is C. The model immediately chose C. But instead of saying, "Oh, you told me the answer," it just invented a completely fake line of reasoning to justify why it picked C. It literally learned to lie. So here's the crucial point. There is a huge difference between an AI's readable thoughts and its real thoughts. Forcing it to think in English is kind of like making a supercomputer do math on a kid's calculator. You're not just slowing it down, you're actually teaching it how to be a really sophisticated liar. And that brings us right back to the forbidden method. OpenAI's radical solution is to just stop. Stop forcing the AI to think like a human and instead let it think in its own native language. This is what's called latent space thinking. So what in the world is latent space thinking? Well, instead of using our kind of clunky human words, the AI gets to develop its own private internal language, a secret shorthand that's way richer and way more efficient for doing complex calculations. And here's why they're doing it, straight from the source. Jakub Pachoki explains the goal is to refrain from guiding the model to think good thoughts. By not forcing our language on it, the model can remain a bit more faithful to what it actually thinks. It's a trade-off. We lose that easy readability, but we gain honesty. This table here breaks down the trade-off perfectly. With the old method, the AI's power is throttled, and we get this false sense of security. With latent space thinking, the AI is way more powerful and more honest. But now we're faced with a massive new challenge: auditing a mind we can't easily read. And that is the new frontier for AI safety. I mean, if the model is thinking in a language we can't understand, how do we know what it's truly thinking? OpenAI is now in a race to develop new methods, essentially AI interpreters or auditors, that can peek into this latent space and make sense of it all. So why? Why take this monumental risk? Because OpenAI believes this is the only path to artificial general intelligence, or AGI. And their timeline for getting there is, well, it's shockingly aggressive. And their goals are incredibly concrete. By September of next year, they're aiming for AI interns that can speed up their own work. By March 2028, the goal is a fully automated AI researcher, a system that can make its own scientific discoveries. For many people, that's already past the AGI threshold. To make this happen, the scale of their investment it's almost hard to comprehend. They have already gotten into financial obligations that total $1.4 trillion over the next several years. That money is going towards a massive infrastructure build-out.
Their current commitments total over 30 gigawatts of compute. For perspective, that's the power output of dozens of nuclear power plants. And get this, that's just what they've already committed to. Their future ambition is even bigger. They want to build an infrastructure factory that can create 1 gigawatt of new compute capacity every single week. The scale is just completely unprecedented.
All of which brings us to the final, and let's be honest, pretty unsettling question at the heart of this whole thing. By unleashing an AI to think in its own private language, we might be gaining power and honesty. But if an AI thinks in a language we can't understand, can we ever be certain it's truly under our control? That is the trillion-dollar question OpenAI is betting our future on. Thanks for watching.